evening, everybody.
Today, I, Daisy Castro, and my partner, Abdoulaye Gay, will present our review on an article written by Cenoz and Durk Gorter, titled Focus on Multilingualism, a Study of Trilingual Writing.
Before we get further into our presentation, we want to introduce you to some new terms used in this article that will help you in understanding their studies. First of all, bilingualism. It refers to a person's ability to speak two languages. Multilingualism refers to a person's ability to speak two or more languages. Trilingual writing refers to a person's ability to write a composition using three languages. Code switching refers to a speaker alternating between two or more languages or using elements of multiple languages when conversing or writing. Soft boundaries refer to boundaries that are permeable, allowing for interaction between the languages.
The authors did an exploratory research study on writing skills in Basque, Spanish, and English in Basque schools. An exploratory research is a research done for a problem that has not yet been clearly defined. So Basque is a non-Indo-European language, Spanish is a Romance language, and English is a Germanic language. The purpose of this study is to combine different perspectives in the study of second language acquisition, bilingualism, and multilingualism. The researchers aim to answer the following question: does a focus on multilingualism perspective based on written production in three languages provide different information about multilingual learners than a monolingual perspective?
The study participant. The study took place in a Basque school involving 165 secondary school students, meaning 77 male and 88 female who had Basque and or Spanish as their L1. Basque was the L1 for 31% of students. Spanish was the L1 for 46% of the students, and 26 of them had both Basque and Spanish. They all had Basque as a language of instruction and Spanish and English as school subject. Spanish is a majority community language, but they have very limited exposure to English in school and no exposure to English outside of school.
The authors gathered data from three different procedures. Students were first given a questionnaire, which included questions on the knowledge and use of Basque in their social networks. Next, students were asked to write three compositions, one in each language: Basque, Spanish, and English. Each composition was on a different topic, but they all had a similar format. Students were given a picture and asked to either describe the picture or write a story in 250 words. The compositions were analyzed using the following coding systems: computerized language analysis, codes for the human analysis of transcripts, and language interaction data exchange system. Finally, the researchers gathered data from samples of informal communication through a social media network 20, which is just like Facebook. These are natural examples of students writing outside of school with no formal instruction, which differs from compositions. The results from these three procedures were divided into four results.
The data results: 1. Composition score. They were graded using the following scales, adding up to 100. Content 30, organization 20, vocabulary 20, language use 25, and mechanic 5. Table 1 shows the score obtained from the composition, and Table 2 shows the correlations between the different dimensions measured. The results from Table 2 indicate that there are statistically significant correlations between each pair of languages, with the exception of organization. There is no clear pattern indicating that the correlations between two specific languages are much stronger than between other pair of languages. They show that multi-language speakers share some skills across their different languages. Students with high score in mechanics or vocabulary in one of the languages would also obtain good results in the other languages, and vice versa.
Data results 2. Multidirectionality in language transfer. Multidirectionality is when multilingual learners use their languages in multiple directions and not only from L1 to L2. For example, using transfer from L1 Spanish to L3 English, a student writes, "At the right, it is the bathroom, the lavadora for the clothes." In this case, the student transfers a Spanish noun into an English sentence. In the second transfer from L2 Basque to L3 English, students transfer verbs. In the third transfer from L1 Spanish to L2 Basque, students use a direct translation from Spanish. In the fourth transfer from L1 Basque to L2 Spanish, students replace Basque plural markers with Spanish morphemes. In the fifth transfer from L2 Basque to L1 Spanish, students use Basque words written in Spanish spelling. And in the sixth transfer from L2 Spanish to L1 Basque, students use Spanish words instead of Basque words. In the seventh transfer from L3 English to L2 Basque, students loan English words. And in the final transfer from L3 English to L1 Basque, there is an influence of English spelling of Basque words.
Data results number 3. General writing strategies. Results show that multilingual learners use similar strategies and focus on same terms in writing composition in 3 languages. There is an underlying common multilingual strategies produced in 3 languages. For example, some students prefer to write a story in their dominant language and a description in their weaker language, meaning English here. When writing a composition, students often focus on a common term in all 3 languages: color, time, celebration, and locations.
Data results 4. Language mixing in informal writing. The informal writing samples were about students discussing a composition that has to be written in Basque, but they're communicating in Spanish and even using a little bit of English. The data gathered from informal writing shows how multilingual speakers use their knowledge and linguistic repertoire for communication in informal settings. The author noticed 5 different types of language mixing, known as a hybrid text, from the students' informal writing. A hybrid text is the mixing of languages, combining languages, and mixing languages in other ways. Some examples of language mixing found were spelling English expressions using Spanish conventions, abbreviation, non-standard spelling, alternate spelling, and repeating vowels.
In conclusion, multilingual speakers have similar strengths and weaknesses when writing they are using similar strategies. These strategies used in one language can be used in other languages. Multilinguals establish soft boundaries between languages using elements they need from other languages. The traditional strategy of separating languages and using only the target language in class does not allow multilinguals to use a powerful resource in communication. The focus should be on the whole individual and the linguistic repertoire and the relationship between languages.
The authors end with a few recommendations. They recommend integrating the curricula of different languages so that students can benefit from being multilingual. Secondly, the authors recommend the use of connected growers. These are connections between languages, allowing for anything that is learned in one language to be easily transferred to another.
Thank you so much.